So good morning. For those who may not know me, I think everybody knows by now, I'm Reverend Elizabeth Cichocki. And it's so nice to see everyone here in church and everybody online. Hello. How many of us are guilty of sprinting through the day, checking boxes, answering everyone's needs, bouncing from one task to the next? How many feel like that? Good, good. And you're my audience. So we know this feeling well. And maybe it's not every day, but maybe it's some days we have that. And the day has been full, but somehow we feel empty. And life doesn't seem to be slowing down either, does it? If anything, lists keep growing, more commitments, more responsibilities, more have-tos. Somewhere in the middle of all that, our own needs are quietly falling to the bottom of that list. We've all heard about self-care. We know self-care matters. We might even have a mental list of the things we should be doing. But when it comes to the real question, where does it fit in our schedule? When our days are already, they already are packed full. And adding one more thing, even something beneficial, can feel unrealistic. So what happens? Many of us fall into a familiar pattern. We might prioritize family, work, chores, obligations. And if there's anything left, maybe we think about ourselves. Maybe, right? And more often than not, there's nothing left. Our tank is empty. Just empty. And this becomes a cycle for some of us. Day in and day out, self-care stays at the bottom, which makes it the easiest thing to skip or take off our list. Over time, though, that starts to show. Patience gets thinner. Small things feel bigger. We react quicker, snap easier, and feel less like ourselves. And every once in a while, we hit that breaking point where we just can't take it anymore. And we decide we need a break. Maybe we order our favorite meal, ignore our phone, or plan a quick getaway. In that moment, it feels great, necessary even. But in a few days, we might wonder, was that actually self-care or just an escape? The line between the two can get blurry. We live in a world that constantly tells us to treat ourselves, but does not always remind us to take care of ourselves in meaningful ways. So what does real care, self-care look like? It's not always glamorous, relaxing, or convenient. And sometimes it looks simple, ordinary even. It is brushing our teeth when we're running late because our body matters. It is choosing food that fuels us, not just that satisfies a craving. It is going to bed instead of staying up watching just one more episode. It's not about big dramatic moments. It's about small, consistent choices that support us. Maybe not just right now, but later as well. At its core, self-care is about paying attention, checking in with ourselves, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And asking, what do we really need? Sometimes the answer is not the easy option. Sometimes it's getting up early to meditate. Sometimes it's having that tough conversation with ourselves. Sometimes it's even saying no when it feels uncomfortable. Like, no, I pass, I can't help you with this. This is where self-care starts to take a different look from self-indulgence. On the surface, they can look the same. Both can involve rest. Both can involve treating ourselves. Both can feel good in the moment. But the outcome is what separates them. Self-care builds over time. Self-indulgence often feels good now, but leaves us a little worse later. Self-indulgence is the voice that says, we deserve this, without asking what the impact will be. It leaned towards quick relief and immediate comfort. I want this now. I deserve this now. Skipping responsibilities because we feel tired and it feels right in the moment. Putting off maybe important work for hours because we're scrolling on our phone. It might feel like a break. Or maybe we're buying something that we don't need. We can feel rewarding for a short time, but later other feelings show up like stress, guilt, fatigue, and that quiet sense that something important was neglected. And that neglect is neglecting ourselves. Let me tell you, this is not about never enjoying ourselves. Don't get me wrong on this, okay? The difference is intention. What is our intention? So how do we tell the difference? Self-care asks, will this support us? Is this restorative? Is this helping us be who we want to be? And what do you think self-indulgence sounds like? It asks, will this feel good right now? Is this merely a distraction? Is this taking time away from who we want to be? And these questions do not require perfection. They require honesty, to be honest with ourselves in answering these questions. And I understand the part of the challenge is the world we live in. On one side, there's pressure to always be productive, always doing more. On the other side, there's a message that encourages constant relaxation and indulgence. It can really feel like we're being pulled in two different directions. Do everything, do nothing. The balance is the space in the middle, and it often gets overlooked. So real self-care is that middle ground. It is not about extremes. It's about rhythm or flow, working and resting, pushing forward and pausing, practicing discipline while also showing ourselves compassion. So how do we shift toward that balance? It begins with small change in how we think, right? Everything starts with our thoughts, and then we can go into action. Instead of asking, what do I feel like right now? Try asking, what do I need right now? That one shift creates space to choose intentional self-care. When Notre Dame Cathedral was burning in Paris, people came out to the streets, started singing together, watching their beloved landmark burn. When they couldn't do anything else about it, they started singing together. People all over the world and every culture sing and dance together when they're stressed. Except maybe ours. I know I'm not a good singer, believe you me, I know.
We try.
We try, yes, I try. Yes. And at every service, I'm here and I sing, right? And some of us may feel self-conscious about singing during service. We may think also that we don't have a good voice. But when we make ourselves vulnerable to embarrassment, we very quickly get over ourselves. It doesn't have to be singing. It's about doing something like maybe writing a poem, sending a letter to a friend. This forces us to be open to a kind of vulnerability that is genuine. Remember the comic strip Family Circle? The one I remember is about a little boy named Jeffy, who's supposed to be asleep in bed. His parents are assuming that the kids are sleeping while they're relaxing in the living room. Jeffy gets out of bed, comes up to his parents, standing in his pajamas, looking upset. He says, I don't feel so good. I think I need a hug. Out of the mouths of babes, Jeffy knows what he needs in that moment. Out of the mouths of babes is a phrase that highlights the idea that profound wisdom can come from children. Children are born with instincts that guide them in understanding their needs. These instincts are crucial for their development and well-being. So why do humans innately need a hug? When we spend time separated from normal social networks, then we, while alone, spend more time going over and over the same thoughts, concerns, or worries. When doing this, our brain starts to brood about things that have gone wrong, and by doing that, it crowds out other things that we would normally be doing, like self-care, enjoying life, just walking around and letting our mind wander freely like a cloud. Hugs help reduce pain. Science has proven that regular hugs with the closest to us, even if brief, can have a positive effect on our brain and our body. Hugging is a way to let our brain know that we are not alone. And when we're not alone, we have another set of eyes to look at us. We have another set of hands to help us. If we want to feel better about ourselves, reduce our stress, improve communication, and be happier and healthier, it seems that giving and asking for more hugs is a good place to start. Hugs from our loved ones have the power to erase the exhaustion of the day. Sometimes words are not even needed. A silent hug can say, "We are here for you." When we are feeling run down or under the weather, a comforting hug might not only make us feel better emotionally, but can give our immune system a little extra boost. So in everyone's life, there will be days when we truly need rest, but real rest, not avoidance. Maybe we want comfort, but in a way that actually supports us. Maybe we need to build structure into our day. Nothing overwhelming, just enough to provide direction. Maybe we need to wake up around the same time every day. Maybe we need to exercise regularly, or take that few moments to kind of reset us mentally. These anchors make it easier to stay balanced without feeling restricted. And then when we slip up, because we will, our response matters, not harsh criticism, not giving up after one attempt, like saying, "Oh, I tried that, it didn't work." People blow it off, right? Just having awareness, notice what happened, learn from it, adjust. The balance is not about getting it right every time. It's about noticing when we're off, then gently correcting our course. Some days will require more effort. Other days will require more rest. And both are valid. The key to staying connected to ourselves takes courage and honesty. It takes courage to sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it. Recognize when something that feels like care might actually be holding us back. So we want to choose growth, even when it's not easy. But it also takes courage to rest when we genuinely need it. Have you ever had a friend that was just a workaholic and you knew they needed to take a break and they just won't? That's kind of, They keep going and going and going, like the Energizer bunny, right? But sometimes we need to slow down without guilt, to give ourselves permission to recover. That balance, the steady movement between effort and ease, is where real, sustainable self-care lives. At the end of the day, self-care is not a trend. However, self-care for ourselves is a commitment. It's a personal promise to ourselves that we will keep showing up in ways that matter. That we will rest when we need to and push when we must. That we will choose kindness, not comfort. And we'll choose growth, not just gratification. So it is okay to enjoy life, to pause, to indulge every now and then, but let it be with intention. Let it be in the service of fuller, richer, the more grounded us. The life we want is not built in a single day. It's built in the small, quiet, everyday moments we choose ourselves. Remember to take care of ourselves. Just make sure it's the kind of care that actually cares. The next time we find ourselves running on empty, pause for a moment and ask, what do we really need right now? Right? What do we really need right now? Okay. Not the quickest fix, but the choice that supports us today, tomorrow, and hopefully through the rest of our days. Amen.
Amen. All I need is love.
Boy, you're needy. I'm doing it.